But on that note, we're not going to end on a bad note with this, Kris, because I want us all to go around the horn and let's talk about our favorite R-Truth moment. You only get one. What is your favorite all-time R-Truth moment in the WWE? Let's go with who's going to be Lil Jimmy right now? Who's going to start it off? Let's go with Jay Lacey. What's your favorite all-time Ron Killings moment in the WWE, brother?
All right. This was kind of recent. I don't remember exactly when it happened, but he goes into the ring and he's telling Paul Heyman that, hey, you know what? I'm going to throw you over the rope.
Yes.
Paul Heyman, and just makes Brock Lesnar crack. That was hilarious.
Yes.
I mean, I love the fact that they didn't even give Brock Lesnar a chance to even, like, they cut the camera right onto him. You just see him break character, and he did not expect to hear that coming out of, Truth's mouth. So, him breaking Brock Lesnar was pretty funny, One, I'm going to give you two. The second one was, I believe it was I think it was a Royal Rumble match or some kind of match, and he runs out there and he thinks it's a Money in the Bank match, and he grabs a ladder from under the ring, and he does that, and he wasn't even in the match, and so that was hilarious. So I gotta give that to him. So he's pretty entertaining for that.
Yes, that was a good one. Kris, what is your favorite moment or moments from R-Truth in the WWE, dog?
So my favorite version of R-Truth in WWE is when he was when he first turned into a bad guy, and he was doing a lot of like condescending heel work, right? Where he was saying stupid shit, but it was like he was in on the joke. He was like, I'm a good R-Truth, and like it wasn't all minstrelly and stuff. It was like him poking fun at upper management, kind of basically saying that he'll be the toy that they want him to be. He came out there with like dressed as a Confederate soldier, marching with the Confederacy, and it didn't make me cringe as a black person. It was kind of like, I get this character. I understand. I thought that version of R-Truth should have beat John Cena at that Capital Collision or whatever the fuck it was.
Capital Punishment.
Capital Punishment, yeah, because it was that strong of a character, man.
Yes,
and I do hate the direction that they've gone into him with him recently. I've written about this shit. I did because I thought that old direction with them had so much promise, and like the stuff that he did in TNA, like that heel version reminded of the stuff he did in TNA when he was a smart character and street, but definitely had a like street smartness to him that you could put up against any intellectual, So I've always appreciated that about R-Truth.
Okay, I was gonna go to Ray, but I'm gonna take the hot tag because me and Kris are. It's like me and Kris showed up to the show in the same Honda, Jay. We on one accord with this one. Because that's my favorite version of R-Truth too, Kris, where it's like it's a combination between the silly, goofy truth that he had been prior to this in WWE and he would be later, and the TNA Ron Truth killings. It was like an amalgamation of both characters. And one of my favorite things about Conan O'Brien, and y'all like, Conan O'Brien, that was a weird left turn out of nowhere. One of my favorite things about Conan O'Brien is Conan O'Brien always found a way, Kris, to do dumb things smartly and smart things dumbly. And I think that was kind of the genius of his comedy. And I think this Truth character from that time frame is right in line with that, where you got something like Truth showing up in Richmond, Virginia. I'm seceding from the WWE in the full Confederate outfit, and just like, yeah, you're right. He should have beat Cena. Like let's be real. But I think that truth was great because it was so subversive, right? He's still doing the stuff like you're talking about, Kris, with the little Jimmy and shut up and all this stuff. But there's comedy, but there's also like this seriousness to it. And I love that version of truth. Like, not to say that his 24/7 stuff wasn't great, or some of his stuff with the Judgment Day, like particularly that moment where, Jay talks about him breaking Brock Lesnar. He stayed breaking people. Like he broke Roman Reigns one night. Like, and then you had that moment with the Judgment Day where you had Damian and Rhea hold up their titles, and Truth hops in with his title, and just Rhea is fighting for her life, trying not to laugh. Even this past week on SmackDown, when he ran up on the Solo, Jacob, and JC Chavez. Y'all know who I'm talking about. When he rode up on Jeff Cobb and them boys, and he was like, Solo, is that your son? He sure is husky. And Solo is like, I'm trying to be mean right now, Truth. I can't do it with you making jokes. So like he just had that spark. Like, comedy is very hard. Like, in general, Kris, you talked about stand-up being hard. Like, comedy and wrestling might be even harder because you have to balance the silliness and the stupidity of it all with, this is a serious character that we can buy in this fight. And so, yeah, like that version of Truth from those days, like, he made Miz likable in those days to me, when it was Miz and Truth fighting this conspiracy that the WWE has thrust upon them. And so, yeah, like he's great, man. Like, again, I said earlier, he's arguably the greatest comedic character they've ever had. I would say, Ray, he is, like, bar none, the greatest comedic character that they've had in that company's history. And those are some of my favorite moments. What about you, Ray Williams? What you got for this man, Truth, out here? AKA Pretty Ricky, Delicious Pretty Ricky, what they call him. Well, don't forget that phase of Truth's life, which was just a random phase on SmackDown one year. For 3 months, he was Delicious Pretty Ricky, trying to get into the arena, and they kept kicking him out for some reason.
Well, first off, I don't know what the opposite of a shout out is, but the opposite of a shout out for Jim Cornette, who said funny don't equal money or something like that. Apparently you ain't been getting these Ron Cena shirts, but
you ain't gonna get one either now, Ray.
Yeah, he said he doesn't make main event money. Is the full context of that.
You gotta invest in it though, brother. But I think you guys did bring up a good honorable mention. The phrase "boy, y'all big boned" will be etched in my mind for many years.
Final words on WWE television is crazy,
hilarious. I think two things stand out from his run, from his most recent run. I think when you guys do mention him aligning with The Miz and becoming Awesome Truth, and them kind of foiling that Hell in a Cell match between CM Punk and Alberto Del Rio, and kind of, I think it was WWE's version. Like, there are many rehashes of trying to bring that feeling of the Nexus back, where it's just things going haywire and you don't realize if it's real or if it's scripted, where they kind of lock themselves in and they kind of beat up on everybody. They beat up the cameraman, and they beating up on Punk, Patron or Alberto Del Rio. And so I think that was when they were kind of trying to make an impact. And like you said, that whole storyline, whether they felt slighted by the WWE, and then only for them to kind of lose to The Rock and John Cena at Survivor Series. But that was one impactful moment from his last run. And then another one, I know people don't talk about this very fondly, but that 24/7 championship run, like, he really made that title. Like, that title,
a 53-time 24/7 champion. Ray, put some respect on the belt.
Right, is a title reign for all of his years of life. But,
he may
but
be
there
the only wrestler that's got more title reigns than years on this earth, because I think he's got like 60 in total in WWE.
Yeah. So and specifically his feud with Rockstar Spud and just him, I think it was Rockstar, and I forgot the name that they gave Rockstar Spud within the WWE.
Drake Maverick.
Yeah, Drake Maverick. But when he was supposed to be getting married,
call that man Drake Maverick because he's average. Drake Maverick,
pretty much.
Some Freudian slip there, Ray. Freudian slip, brother.
That name was average. That's what I'm saying. His mama call him Rockstar. I'm gonna call him Rockstar. When I guess he was supposed to have been on his honeymoon. And shout out to Renee Michelle, his actual wife, or wife at the time, I should say. I don't know if they still together, but Renee Michelle, who also used to wrestle at Maryland Championship Wrestling. But I think they were on their honeymoon, and then I think
it was at the wedding.
Yeah, or it was at the wedding. I thought it was they had like the honeymoon.
It was at the actual wedding because they were going down the aisle, and that's what Truth hit him with the roll up.
Yeah. Like that was priceless. And then just his interactions with Tozawa as well were priceless during that run as well.
Yeah, those are funny.
That little kind of quartet, like I would say, because a lot of people look down on the 24/7 championship, Ray, but I would say the four pillars, the four, people like Kris, people of Chris's ilk. But the four pillars of the 24/7 championship, in my opinion, Jay, are Truth. Tozawa, Carmella, and Tamina. When you put the four of them together, it was magic. Like just the way Carmella would like hop on Truth's back, and like there's a part of me as a black man, it's like I don't like that imagery, but it was funny. Like run Truth, run, and she hop on his back, and they run away and scamper off. Like it was funny to me. I can't lie, Kris. It made me chuckle.
Oh yeah, I mean, this stuff it made me chuckle, but it made me chuckle in an uncomfortable
chuckling.
It made me chuckle like the way I chuckled at Lawrence Fishburne beating up Angela Bassett and What's Love Got to Do with It.
Wow.
The way Lawrence Fishburne played the role lended itself to a lot of comedy, but I'm not supposed to be laughing at that shit. And that was kind of how I felt with R-Truth in a lot of that stuff. I was like, this is funny, but I'm supporting the ancestors.
I'm gonna tell you again, because like I got all the love and respect in the world for R-Truth. The only time in my life though, Kris, where I was like, brother, come on, I can't do this with you, was back on the old WWE network, where they used to have like the little bumpers in between the shows. And like there was one bumper where Truth just popped up and he's like, hey, and I was like, okay, that's cool, whatever. But there was this one bumper, Jay, after like I don't even remember what show it was on, but it was like R-Truth would pop up, like he would literally pop up and then do like a rope and just be like, and like shuck and jive stage left. And I'm just like, come on, Ron. Come on, brother. But that one misstep aside, hey, at least Ron never said I was born to shuck and jive, unlike some people, Tyrus.
Right.
But Truth, like again, comedy is hard. Wrestling comedy is hard, and I think like bar for bar, pound for pound, Kris, to me, he's the greatest comedic wrestler that company's ever had, because he was funny, but he could also, like we saw at the Cena match last week, like he could still go in the ring, dog.
Yeah. He's probably the greatest comedic wrestler, period, just in any company, because he did have a comedic timing about him. And he didn't even really have to try to be funny sometimes. It was just it was natural for him.
just the delivery of stuff, and just throwaway lines like referencing his own character's past. Like I forget what ladder match it was that they were like, "We going to the top of the ladder, truth. I can't go there. Why? Might be spiders on top of the ladder." And then like a year or two later, he said something. It was another ladder match they were setting up to. He's like, "I finally gotten over my fear of spiders," and I'm like, "That's 100% truth," because nobody in the creative room, all right, like nobody in the writers' room remembered at the time or care to remember that a year ago this man made an offhanded remark about spiders being on top of the ladder, and now his character is like, "I got over my fear of spiders. I'm gonna go and win Money in the Bank." And then Kane's like, "But it's WrestleMania, truth." Oh, my bad. That's on me, y'all.
That's on me. Yep.
That's on me. Like, come on, man. That dude, like, it's been said a lot today, Ray and Jay, but like that dude was a national treasure, man.
Yeah, definitely. Like you said at the beginning, is a one of one.
Yeah. So we wish the best to you, R-Truth, Ron Killings, in your future endeavors, man. I know you're gonna land on your feet because again, like there is still use for this guy at 53 in this business, man. Whether it's a in-ring competitor or whether it's a commentator or whether it's an ambassador or whether it's somebody that's helping bring up the next crop of talent in this business, man. So yeah, I hope R-Truth goes to TNA just selfishly. Because I think it'd be really cool, man. And again, this is no shade to Trick or to Santana, but I think like Truth's final act as an active competitor, like this retirement run as TNA World Champion, would be like where we get the serious, but he's still silly. Like that would kill for me.
He'd be the last real champion,
and then. The last
parallel his childhood hero.
Yo, and if he could show up with the shirt, "I told y'all my last time is now."
Yeah.
And then, like, again, because he's going to be back in the WWE eventually in some capacity. Like, I would love it if his final night in TNA, like, he just walks on the NXT for some reason. He's like, "Oh, am I late for work?" No, truth, you don't work here. Oh. That's on me, y'all. That's my bad. And then that whole spot in Orlando just go crazy for Truth one last time, man. Future Hall of Famer.
Yes.
And I hope he gets inducted by Teddy Long. like Teddy Long and Road Dogg Jesse James should do like a co-induction for Truth. Getting rowdy. Yeah, do yourself a favor. Go back and look at Road Dogg Jesse James and K Quick getting rowdy video. Like that is completely a product of his time, Ray Williams.
All 90s. Yep. All 90s, 100%.
Yes.
Oh, and these are working TNA. Like obviously the 2 NWA World Championships is a great accomplishment, but also the 3 Live crew. With Road Dogg, Quick, or Truth, and Conan. Like, they were great for a time in TNA, too, man.
I don't know if anyone mentioned it or not, because my network was kind of stuttering and buffering. But, like, the version of R-Truth I wish I would have mentioned was when they were in London, and he first turned heel, and he flicked up that cigarette.
Oh yeah,
that was hilarious.
Yes, he used to smoke and then hit people. He used to hit people with water bottles. That was a fun gimmick.
Water bottle shot.
Yep, that was a fun gimmick for a while. And I forget it was because again he was doing the serious stuff, but still had these silly comedic elements to it. Ray, like he jumped somebody backstage, and then like the cameras went back there, and he was like, "Oh snap! Lil Jimmy just beat Susie down by the apple tree," and walked off. It was like that was completely random, but it works. Like this black Joker character, like running roughshod on the WWE, man. Like yeah, Ron Killings is the best.
Yes.
My queen Nia Jax said he the best. So what my queen say, go Ray.
Of course.